what was really interesting this morning was to understand and hear sort of overall strategies from different companies about their corporate social responsibility strategy. And what you realise is that we have an awful lot of things in common. And then to hear from business and the community and understand the different work they're doing with companies, and then individually to hear what different companies are driving down. And I suppose our story this morning is about one particular partnership that we have developed and worked in year one, if you like, of over in a 3-year period that we will be working from 2011 right through 2013. And it is one element of our overall corporate social responsibility strategy in Ireland. So, and the story is in fact around our support of the Irish Cancer Society's Daffodil Day. So what happened was in 2010, Dell in Ireland took a step back and decided to look to see if they could form a partnership within the community where there were going to be 3 clear objectives. The first objective was to ensure we made a really long-term sustainable difference. The second objective was to ensure there was a very rich vein, if you like, of volunteering, real volunteering opportunity for employees. And the third was to identify a cause or an issue that would be of concern and directly relate to our employees in Ireland. And Dell, as one of the largest technology employers in Ireland, employs 2,300 people in Dublin and Limerick. So this was really, really important to us. There was more than just financial support, but that there was very real involvement. So after quite a period of external and internal consultation, an opportunity arose whereby we had the ability to come in and support Daffodil Day on their Daffodil Day programme. And it's their largest, it's their national fundraising flagship, Ireland flagship. So when we sort of looked through all the data and detail, there are a couple of things that struck us. Immediately we knew it kind of hit all our key objectives. But secondly, one figure kind of really stood out. And at the time I remember sort of looking at it and realising that 1 people in 4 in Ireland are either directly or indirectly impacted by cancer at any one time in their lives. So that meant that 1/4 of our workforce were either directly or indirectly impacted by cancer. So straight away we knew we had an issue where people could relate and identify with. So we sat down and sort of identified the areas and aims of where we wanted to support, and they're all pretty much standard for what you would expect in terms of working to support in a particular sponsorship. But also what was important then was we also recognised that we couldn't just sit back and do this. This was important to sit down and sort of treat it as a business imperative, almost like anything we would do in our business if we're driving out an initiative. So what we did was we created 2 teams. We created an Ireland team that was going to work with the Irish Cancer Society and helping them with an external brand. And internally then we created an internal team, which was across site, both Limerick and Ireland, and comprised of employees. But it was more than just employees in terms of volunteers. It was also about looking at all the skill sets we had on site and seeing how we could really make a difference, whether it was in brand, finance, marketing, volunteering. And actually Dave will give you a bit of a deeper dive on some of those examples about how we made sort of a difference in that regard. But here are some of the outputs, it's just in terms of capturing per picture, like the outputs of where we sort of made a direct difference. We had something like 500 specific volunteering opportunities over the 2 sites where employees were directly able to get in, and this is outside of fundraising. We ran between the beginning of February and the middle of March, something like 9 different events across the sites. And so employees sort of had a really, really strong sense of involvement and a really, really strong sense of taking part. And I think, you'll see there, we ran yellow days and 2,000 people came on site on Daffodil Day wearing yellow, taking part. So we created a great deal of fun as well as the sense of real impact around what we did. And I'll hand over to Dave now and you can sort of talk to some of the other elements.
Thanks, Sinead. Good morning, everyone. I'm 15 years in the company, and I think this past year, in terms of involvement and in terms of what we were doing, it probably ranks as bigger than all of those previous 14 years for me. Certainly that's been my experience. But as you can see, it was something that was very enriching for the people within Dell. We got a lot of fun out of it, but we were making a huge, huge impact. In relation to, and there's a lot of words here, really it's about the impact we've had overall in the campaign, whereas Daffodil Day has already been a very strong flagship for the Irish Cancer Society. With our involvement, we've allowed the Irish Cancer Society to reach far, far wider in terms of their advertising campaign. We were involved in a lot of that internally within our own Dell world as well, through Dell.com and so on. We've really increased, and we've had acknowledgement back from the ICS that that's really made a big impact for them as well. In terms of the monetary, they're just coming to the close of their year, and they've already acknowledged to us that their funds across the whole programme this year are up nearly $250,000. And when you consider the actual times we're in it right now, that's really something significant. So we're delighted and proud to have been part of helping them raise that increase. The other interesting things that we got involved in and that we were delighted to be part of was how we brought some of our skill set and some of our experience to bear in the programme. And some of these things the Irish Cancer Society have told us that they're taking on going into the future. We did a lot of work around social media. We introduced a lot of our programmes to the program where we could advertise across, the Twitters and the Facebooks and so on, things that we do in Dell as part of our business. So we were able to bring that, and it's actually made a lot of difference. The other thing we were able to bring was around our supply chain management. Against one of our core skills in supply chain management, we were able to assist a lot with the logistics and the warehousing and the deployment of a lot of the activity around the day. Some of those processes have been taken on by the ICS and are now part of their standard processes and procedures going forward. To conclude really, without going into any more detail, what this has done for us in year one, first of all, it's set a very high bar, and we're already working on next year's programme. We're also working to see how we can improve and how we can widen it and deepen it, but we're already doing other work during the year. We've already done some significant work around Breast Cancer Awareness Pink Day. We also have about 120 guys who are growing these from November, and we have already over €13,000 raised through that programme between Limerick and Cherrywood. So we're delighted. I think the best way to close on this, we've got a very short couple of minutes of a video, which I think is quite inspirational, but also really says it more than both Sinead and I can say it. So thank you for listening.
Dell has made a 3-year commitment to the Irish Cancer Society, where Dell will be the lead partner for Daffodil Day, Ireland's largest national fundraising event.
This is one of the best causes that you can really put your efforts into.
It's a cause that has touched an awful lot of people.
It's a charity that's kind of very close to everybody's heart.
There isn't a family in the country who hasn't been touched in some way by cancer, right? So it's an incredibly important event for us.
The enthusiasm of the organisation has really come together, and the pride of being involved in such an important charity.
And a number of people at Dell had friends and family impacted by cancer, so we're more than happy to fundraise today.
I think it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
Even the Taoiseach's wearing a daffodil over in Brussels today.
And I'm absolutely thrilled to be involved with Dell selling merchandise.
We've had handbag sales, we've had table quizzes, we've had collections.
The sun is shining here in Grafton Street. It's amazing. It's a great day.
It's been absolutely phenomenal, the amount of events and activities that have been organised on our behalf.
This year has been absolutely phenomenal.
with Dell's sponsorship of Daffodil Day at an Ireland level.
It's really good doing it, really enjoyable. You can see everybody's laughing and smiling and enjoying themselves.
It's just great to give something back to the community.
Just really good feel factor about it, to be honest with you. And I actually got to meet people I didn't ever talk to in Dell before, so from that standpoint it's been really good as well.
Very proud to be part of Dell. I'm very proud when I see all of my colleagues wearing yellow and really getting stuck into Daffodil Day.
Being part of something so important is wonderful.